Alright guys, here we are at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and I'll see you in just a little bit. We are at Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's Rainforest Cafe. We're heading to the safari right now. And I will see you when we get there.
But it's not good. I think it's
The data down the market. No, us telling her like, oh, like it's broken.
Also, please remain seated for the entirety of our journey. That does include lap sitters. They need to be in one lap only spot they are currently in. Now, my friends, anything you came in with that you would like to leave with them, maybe your phone, your purse, your wallet, your friend, your child, please keep a tight hold. It may be a bit of a bumpy ride. Now, the first place we're going to be entering on into today is the Ituri Forest. The Ituri Forest is home to a lot of really, really beautiful animals, but a lot of them are super good at camouflage. We're going to keep a sharp eye out and see what we can find hanging out around here today. Alright, my friends, now we're just going to be waiting until we get that all clear from our warden to go ahead and enter on into the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And it looks like we have it, so we're going to head right this way. Now keep those eyes peeled, my friends. Let's see what we can find out here today in the Ituri Forest. Looks like the first thing I see is going to be coming up here to this left-hand side. I see some of these rust-colored antelopes that are known as bongos. Bongos are known as the ghost of the forest. They like to hang out in the bushes and trees. They don't like to be seen very much, so we're lucky to see some hanging out around here today. Over there to that right-hand side, I see an okapi hanging out. The okapi kind of looks like they may be related to the zebra, but they're actually related to the giraffe. The okapi was first known about by Western civilization in 1901. However, multiple parts of Africa had actually known about them for generations at that point. The okapi does have a really long tongue, which they can use to clean their eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. So that is pretty cool. We're going to head up along this way, friends. We're coming up here to this right-hand side. I see these kind of grayish-brown antelope on top of the hill right there. Those are some greater kudu. And in that nest, I also see a black and white bird. They're known as a saddle-billed stork. I'll talk about those guys in just a moment, because coming up here to this left-hand side, I see a black rhino. Now, black rhinos, they weigh about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. Their horns are made of keratin, which is the same thing our fingernails are made of. They can run at 35 miles per hour, so they are very, very fast. Now for the greater kudu up there, the ones we passed by were female. We know it's because males have horns while the females do not. And for the saddle-billed stork, they get their name because of the yellow saddle-like structure they have on their bill. They are a very large bird. They stand about 5 foot high and they have a wingspan of 9 feet across. That's the same as the canopy we're currently seated under, so they are very, very large. And we're going to head right up along this way, my friends. We're here. We are going to be exiting the Ituri Forest. We're going to be entering on into the Safi River. The Safi River is home to some of our friends that like to hang out near the water, so hopefully we will spot a couple of those. Let's head up this way and we'll see what we can find. Looks like over here to this right-hand side, I see some of these pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans, they get their name because of the pink color they get on their backs during mating season. They're a very large bird. They have a wingspan of about 7 to 9 feet across. They are colonial nesters. It means they're going to nest in a colony of about 500 pairs.
Oh, look right there. You see you, Short? All the birds? Yep.
Then over here to this left-hand side, looks like I see some Nile hippos over here. Now, Nile hippos, they can swim, but they normally just choose to walk or run into the water. They can also sleep underwater, and they're naturally able to push themselves up to get a breath of fresh air whenever they would like. It's kind of like how humans can toss and turn throughout the night without waking up. These hippos, their version of tossing and turning, it's just coming up for air. Now, Nile hippos, they can actually stay underwater for about 6 to 8 minutes at a time, which does often make them pretty difficult to spot. So we're lucky to see some hanging out around here today. Looks like over there to that left-hand side, I do see some of these Nile hippos. They're hanging out above the water right there. Just make sure he does remain fully seated for me, my friends. And we're going to head up this way here in just a moment. We're going to see what else is around.
They're sleeping. Casey, look, right here. Look, taking, right there. They're taking a nap. See them right there. Look. Hi.
Over here to this left-hand side, I see some of these Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles, they are massive. They're about as long as a giraffe is tall, with an average about 16 to 17 feet in length. These guys are wonderful parents. They're going to keep their eggs in their mouth and roll them around to assist in the hatching process. After their eggs hatch, they keep their babies in their mouth in order to protect them from predators. Now, Nile crocodiles, they can move quickly through the waters by moving their tail back and forth like a boat rudder, which helps them out quite a bit. Then we're going to head up along this way, friends. Here we are going to be exiting the Safi River. We're going to be entering on into the savannah. The savannah is home to a lot of really, really beautiful animals. But the first thing that we're going to see just kind of lets us know that we are entering on into the savannah. So my friends, we take a look over to your right-hand side, because in just a moment here, you are going to be able to see the beautiful, the wonderful, the absolutely gorgeous, the baobab tree right over there to that right-hand side. Now that baobab tree right there actually does have two really cool nicknames, known as the upside down tree and the tree of life. The reason that it is known as the upside down tree is because it has a root-like structure for its branches and it remains leafless about 9 months throughout the year. So it kind of looks like it's planted upside down. Now it's known as the tree of life because it will store water in its trunk, and animals can access that water using their tusks or horns to poke holes into the base of the tree. It's one of the very few ways that animals can access water during the African dry season, so it is super, super helpful. That's why it's known as the tree of life. Alright, my friends, now we are out here on the savannah. You can use that animal spotting guide above you in order to put a name to some of the faces that we may be able to see out here today. Hopefully we'll see a lot of really cool animals. Looks like I see a couple pretty awesome ones hanging out around here already. I think I see some wildebeest, some Maasai giraffe, some Ankole cattle. Lots of cool things. I'll go ahead and start telling you about the wildebeest that we saw. Wildebeest name does translate directly to wild beasts. They are best known for their massive migrations. They'll migrate up to 1.5 million of their closest friends, and wildebeest are also often referred to as news. It's spelled G-N-U. It's because they make a newing noise, so that's pretty cool. For the Maasai giraffes, we can identify that they are Maasai giraffes because they do have really rough edges to their spots. While the articulated giraffe, which is on your animal spotting guide, has really smooth edges to their spots. On top of their heads, they do have those horn-like structures that are known as ossicones. Both male and female giraffes do have those ossicones. That is pretty awesome. Coming up this way here to our left-hand side, behind this den, I do see some African painted dogs hanging out. Painted dogs are pack animals. They do have an alpha male and an alpha female, which are the primary breeding pair of their pack. These guys right here, they look super cute and cuddly, but they're actually some of the best hunters in all of Africa. They're often confused with hyenas, but they're part of totally different families. Hyenas are part of the Hyaenidae family. These guys are part of the Canidae family. Up ahead here, I see some Ankole cattle. These guys are best known for their massive horns. Their horns are going to be about 6 to 8 feet in length. They have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside, which helps out their circulation. Ankole cattle, they go by a couple of other names. They're often known as the Watusi cow or Watusi cattle because that was the first tribe to domesticate them. They emerged about 2,000 years ago. They're a combination of the Egyptian longhorn cattle. So it's a different type of cattle that was often found in India around that time. Coming up ahead here to the left and the right, I see some of these really tall structures that kind of look like they're made out of dirt. These are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made of animals' dung and saliva. They mix together in the beak of the African sun and they get as hard as concrete. Then animals can use them for a lot of things. But they do primarily have thousands of termites.
That's the closest we've ever been.
Over here to this left-hand side, kind of hiding behind that tree right there, I see a sable antelope. Sable antelope, they get their name from their sable brown color. Males are a lot darker than the females, so it's a good way to tell them apart. And they have curved back horns to help protect their backs from predators.
You see the animals? Yeah. But there's going to be more giraffes. They will. We'll see one.
Got really close up giraffes coming in here.
Here's some of those Maasai giraffes right over there to that left-hand side.
giraffe.
Very, very cool.
Got little horns on.
Coming up here to this right-hand side, you can see some really tiny animals with a brown top and a white underbelly right there. Those are the springbok. Springbok only stand about 33 inches high at the shoulder, but they leap 13 feet in front of themselves, 6 feet directly up, and they're at an average of 55 miles per hour. Means that less than 3 feet tall, they're one of the top 10 fast land animals in the entire world. Further back, I also see a tall tan antelope right there known as an eland. The eland is the largest antelope here on this reserve. Stand about 6 foot high at the shoulder, which means they are larger than the average human. They produce a loud clicking noise as they walk because their tendon slips back and forth over their kneecap and makes a loud click with every step. Over there to that right-hand side, I also see some Hertmann's Mountain zebras over there. Hertmann's Mountain zebras, their stripes are unique to them in the same way a human fingerprint is unique to each and every one of us. Everybody has them, but all of them are different. It's a good way to tell each other apart, so that is pretty cool.
Look, zebras. See, look over here. Way over there, you see them, black and white zebras?
Zebras.
Then we're gonna head up right along this way, friends. Now up ahead here, I do see some large rocks and broken trees. This signifies to me that we may be entering into the territory of a much larger animal. Around these parts, you can often find some African elephants. You can start to identify an African elephant based on the shape of their ears. Their ears are vaguely in the shape of the continent of Africa, and they can actually flap their ears to cool the blood in their ears down about 15 degrees. This helps them out a lot on really hot days. Looks like over there to that right-hand side, you're going to get a good look at one of these African elephants hanging out. You'll often see them flapping their ears, like I mentioned. You'll also often see them using their trunk to pull up food or water to their mouth. Their trunks have a lot of muscles in them. This helps them out quite a bit.
You see it?
Standing still.
Here's going to be another good look.
Oh, look,
What is that? Look at that.
Very cool.
Do you see it?
Now another cool thing about those African elephants is their tusk. Their tusks are made of ivory, and ivory is sadly one of the reasons that they are often poached. But their tusks are actually super helpful. As we head up this way, we are going to be entering on into some red clay pits. Now red clay pits are the things that African elephants can use their tusk for. They'll dig their tusk into the red clay in order to pull some of the vitamins and nutrients that they may need. Then they're able to use it kind of like how a human would use a multivitamin. It doesn't actually replace anything in their diet, it just adds a little bit of the extra good stuff that they may need throughout the day. Now sometimes you can see those tusk marks in the red clay. So as we head up this way, I'll let you know if I'm able to spot anything.
Touch her.
Over here to this right-hand side, I see some of these tusk marks right there in that red clay. Now they may have been made by our friend we saw a moment ago, or there may be some more African elephants over here to this left-hand side. We already talked a little bit about their ears, but another pretty cool thing is that their ears are super sensitive. They don't really like anything that makes a really loud or constant noise, and one of those things is bees. African elephants are super scared of bees. Now some people find this fact really funny, some people kind of find it sad, but it's really great for us to be aware of because farmers in Africa are able to use this information to create beehive fences. Beehive fences are awesome. They allow farmers to protect their crops and also to protect their population without bringing any harm to the others. That is super cool.
See them now? Oh, behind that bush. Now. Can you?
See elephants?
It's a little one, isn't it?
Elephants.
Looks like coming up here to this left-hand side, you're going to get a good look at that baby African elephant hanging out.
Oh, it's a baby. Tay, baby elephant. See a baby? Look, it's a mommy and a baby. You want to sit by daddy so you can see it?
Very cool. Then we're going to head up this way. Now coming up here to both the left and the right, you can see some more of those wonderful baobab trees that I mentioned a little bit earlier today. These are those trees animals can take their tusk or horns to get some water out of whenever they need it. Does look to me though like they have plenty of water just right up this way.
Yeah, you saw it.
Another billboard tree.
Boulevard. Boulevard.
Ooh, come up to some birds.
Flamingos.
Over here to this left-hand side, you can see some of these greater flamingos hanging out right here. Greater flamingos, they are the larger of the types of flamingos. They're also the lightest pink. They get their pink color from brine shrimp. Brine shrimp has beta-carotene in it, and beta-carotene is what gives them their pink color. It does take about 2 years to build up enough beta-carotene in their system for them to turn pink. So about their first 2 years of life, these guys are pretty much gray and fluffy and adorable. A group of greater flamingos is referred to as a flamboyance. So there's a flamboyance of flamingos out here on this reserve.
There you go, perfect.
Now coming up over here to this left-hand side, you're going to be able to see kind of looks like a giant mud puddle right there. That is a mud wallow. Some of the animals out here, they can get in, roll around, get a nice thin layer on their skin. Then they can use it kind of like a sunscreen or a bug repellent. It just helps protect their sensitive skin from the elements.
But
Over there to your right-hand side, I do see some of those white rhinos over there. White rhinos are shaped for a mistranslation. They were originally named the Vite rhino after the Afrikaans word Vite, which means wide because they're wide, square-shaped mouth. However, that got mistranslated to mean white, so now despite there not being any color difference between the white and black rhino, that is what we call them. A group of white rhinos is referred to as a crash. There's a crash of them out here today. Then take a look over here to this left-hand side, see if you can spot any cheetahs hanging out here. Cheetahs, they are very hard to spot unless they are moving around, so we'll see if we can see any.
What is that point at?
Doesn't look like I see any
How come you
hanging
quit
out
taking
around
pictures?
here at the moment. That's okay, we'll head up this way, we'll see if we can spot anything else around here today. Now coming up here to this left-hand side, this is going to be a Kopi rock formation right here. Kopi rocks are often home to some larger predators. These larger predators, they usually like to hang out at dusk or dawn. They'll sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day, which often makes them pretty difficult to spot. We'll head along this way though and see if we can find anything out here.
On top of the rock there last year. It was really sunny in here Sunday.
Over there to that right-hand side, I see some of those white rhinos. I also see some water buck. And to our left-hand side here, I do see some lions hanging out.
look over here by Daddy. See up here?
Look up there, Larry.
Looks like I see two female lions, or lionesses, as well as one male lion. You can see the male has a little bit of a mane right there. Very cool.
That's a lion.
Now, the males, they're going to be the ones who are going to stay at home. They'll take care of the territory and the cubs. Females will be the ones who are going to go out and they'll do the majority of the hunting. Then coming up this way here to our left-hand side, I see some of these warthogs right here. Warthogs are some of the largest burrowing animals in the world. Sometimes they'll dig their burrows out with their own tusk. Other times, those are just like little burrows and left behind by other animals. A lot of times, you do see a warthog in their burrow. They're going to be backed into it, their tusks sticking out. This will dissuade predators from coming near them. To your right-hand side here, I see some ostrich. Ostrich cannot fly, but they can run pretty fast. They'll use their wings in order to assist them as they turn. They don't look super capable of protecting themselves, but I promise you, they are. Their kicks are so strong, potentially lethal to a man or other predator. Then over here to this right-hand side, you can see some of those ostrich eggs right there. Ostrich eggs are massive. They weigh about 3 pounds each. That's about the same as 24 chicken eggs, and they are so strong that your women can stand on them and they would not break.
Papa likes eggs.
We're going to head back along this way, friends. We're here and coming up on our warden's post. Our warden does some pretty awesome things. One of the things that they do is they take care of Nigerian dwarf goats. Now, Nigerian dwarf goats are awesome. Number one, they're adorable, but also they provide benefit both financially and nutritionally, as the milk is very rich in flavor and it can be drank or sold at the market. Also over there to that left-hand side, you can see that yellow structure right there. That's a beehive fence like I mentioned earlier. It helps keep the African elements off of our warden's post. But another pretty cool thing it does is provide honey to the farmers that use those beehive fences. They can either use that honey themselves with their families, or they can sell it at market to have a little bit of extra profit whenever they need it.
Where are we gonna see the bug?
Why are you eating my jacket?
Alright, y'all, then we're going to head right down along this way. Now, my friends, us coming up on our awarded post does sadly mean that our journey is coming to an end. One thing people always ask is, as far as what things that I can do to help protect some of these animals. One of the things that you can do is you can donate to the Disney Conservation Fund. Now, the Disney Conservation Fund is awesome because you can donate even by rounding up your change in most of the merchandise locations around here. Disney will actually match your donation up to $1 million. That is super, super cool because it's basically like donating twice. Also, if I have any coffee drinkers on board, you can head over to Creature Comforts. That's the Starbucks here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Over that way, if you order a flat white, it does donate directly to the top cameras hanging out across from Creature Comforts. So it's pretty cool because you can get your drink and drink it watching animals that you are helping save.
Alright guys, here we are at Ohana's. This is the Polynesian Hotel, and we're looking at all the Christmas things here. And this is one of our favorite restaurants that we used to go to, known as Ohana's. Here is a good look at the rest of the hotel. Take you on a quick tour here. I know this restaurant. Of course, that's Ohana's. Right there. Then we got some gift shops. We got some gift shops as well as the downstairs area. So that's basically it for the Polynesian Resort. Alright guys, this is the last day for me here at the All-Star Sports Resort Hotel here at Walt Disney. I have unfortunately been fighting a stomach bug here the last few days. It just kind of started randomly. So I've been trying to get over it, but I'm going to give you the quickest tour here that I possibly can. You guys may remember I did this in 2019, giving you a last minute little sneak peek at the hotel here, and I also did it when I was staying at All-Star Movies during COVID, which what I feel like is what I have as a stomach bug. But here's the pool and everything. I don't know if I'm gonna get to go to the Lego store one last time. I'm just trying to take it easy. I've been trying to take it easy for the last few days. Unfortunately, this is how off camera has been. Feeling pretty not good. And so, yeah. Here's some of the All-Star Sports area. I've never stayed over there in that side. I've always stayed over here. And I've never stayed over there either. So this is just pretty cool little area. Relaxing. It's finally gotten to be where I can be out here and relax, record a little bit. And yeah, I've got a nice haul coming for you guys very soon. Very excited about that. And here's everything. The sun is out today. Sun is out today. So now we're going to come back over here. I was going to make one last trip to the Lego store, and then I just couldn't do it because I didn't feel like it last night. And then today's the last day, so we got one last chance to do it. So maybe a workout. Well, if you see footage of the Lego store after this, you know it worked out. Or I'm just using footage that I already have. So I'm just trying to take it easy one last time here. Here's a good look at everything. It is pretty cold, and from what I hear, Kentucky is getting snow right now. So that's what's going on. Not how I wanted to really end this Disney vlog movie, but here we are. This is what's going on. The sun is really active over here. Gotta be careful. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's another part of the hotel. Give you one last shot at the arcade.
Hello.
As we walk through here. The cafe, the end zone, the court, the pool.
Ayer, por ejemplo, lo que hicimos fue... Porque yo le metí el...
And it's pretty cool. In-zone food court. Game Point Arcade. One final look. Goodbye, Game Point Arcade. Goodbye, Game Point Arcade. Here's where everybody checks in. And there's where the gift shop is. And that's where everybody loads the bus. Alright guys, I think I am officially going to end this Disney 2024 movie vlog right here at the Game Point Arcade side. This is it. So, hope you've enjoyed this Disney 2024 vlog movie. If you did, then please comment, like, and subscribe and turn on notifications. Never miss a video, and I will see you guys again very soon. Goodbye!